Welcome to Elementary. I hope you're having a fabulous Monday wherever you are. Well, the hot topic today is, are you paying attention and are you getting scammed? And I want to bring that topic to light. And today particularly, we're going to talk about rentals. And that's what I'm going to start with. So everyone knows your hot water tank is probably a rental. And typically, when we see hot water tanks we don't normally see it, but we kind of understand that the hot water tank is a rental. But what I'm also kind of understanding is that now more than ever, it's almost like you have to ask the question, because someone who's listing a property more than likely does not ask that question of their clients. I'm not sure why. I mean, it should be part of your intake, right? But for some reason, people are not asking the question, hey, what's a rental? What do we have to worry about, the whole 9 yards, right? And so for the most part, you don't want to be caught. You do not want to be caught with a rental and not knowing the terms and conditions. Okay. And I'm not saying this because I'm a control freak or anything, because I like to know, but I don't like to take on anyone else's, what should I say? Their plans, right? They've got this plan they've signed with a company, and you don't really want someone else's. Now, a lot of times I say to people is, if you have a rental, make sure you keep that documentation in a safe place. So when you are planning to sell, you have that available. Now, I'll give you a story. The other day, I was showing a property. Now, they did disclose that that the furnace and the AC was brand new, and the property's been on the market for a while. And I think it's a bit of a bone of contention because people get a little weirded out about rentals, and they get weirded out in the sense that, they don't want to take on someone else's rental. They should put a clause in to say that the seller needs to pay it off and negotiate that way. And a lot of times I'll say if I'm representing the seller, I'll say to the seller, no one's going to want to take on your rental, right? So pay it off. It's the best way. And if it means you try to get that money back with the sale of your home, then that's another option for you. But just to expect someone else to take on your contract, that's the word I was looking for. Contract. How could I not remember that? But anyways, to expect someone to take on your contract and expect them to be okay with it, it's a problem. So the other day when I was showing a property, I noticed the furnace AC was a rental, and the amounts were in upwards of $152 and change per month. And that's a lot of money. And so even over a year, it's $1,266. But these people that sell you these rentals, they try to sell you this whole package or something. Anyways, I'm back. Anyhow, so the people that sell you these rentals, they say, well, you don't have to worry, part of your rentals is a maintenance, but you have a brand new furnace and an AC. So really, why do you need someone to maintain it? Like, okay, I understand 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, maybe they don't make things that last that long anymore. But if you had a rental and you were paying $152, let's say, a month, that works out to about $1,266 a year. And so you times it by the amount of years. And most of the times these rental terms are like 10 years and 15 years. Who knows how crazy they are. So that's like $12,000, over $12,000. And you could definitely buy an AC and a furnace and install it and own it and take care of it. And it's yours. And then you don't have to worry about any of those issues when you go to sell your home. So that was what I was going to tell you, because I've noticed like a lot of sometimes older clients get like sucked into these things because they feel like, oh, maybe they're not they're at that age where maybe they need someone to come in and look at it. And people take advantage of people, which is so horrible. So for me particularly, I don't like rentals, and I advise people not to really get into them and to be a little mindful about rentals and rental equipment. And the next thing is solar panels. So when you're into solar panels, I know some people are, and please don't be mad at me. And it's not like I don't like solar panels, but it comes with a problem. It comes with someone else's contract. And then there's this issue about if you needed your roof fixed, what's written into the contract. And most times people don't really know where their contracts are. So those are some of the things that I was wanting to remind people of. Like, if you're going to take on a contract, then you need to put those documents in a safe place. So people, when you're planning to sell them, you have access to the documents right away. And then I want to say, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the question icon below, and we'll try to get to them. I am also going to be talking a little bit about where the market is going. But my next topic is about status. And while we wait for this market to get a little crazy again, I wanted to bring up status because I think it's really, really important that people understand how important a status is and how not to waive that condition, because you never know what kind of surprises are in store for you. So I've been doing a lot of condos and condo townhouses, and we've been getting a lot of statuses. And one of the things I actually came across the other day when I was reading one of them is that obviously this property is a bit older, but I've actually never seen it written into a status before, which kind of stigmatizes the property a bit, I think. So there was a disclosure, which was really good, that people knew that the property had asbestos I guess it's in something. Because it was built in a certain year, they were still using asbestos up until that time. It was a 1974-ish property. And so it was written right into the status. And I thought it was interesting. But I don't even think people understand what that means. And I see people just, breezing by, getting these places like it doesn't mean a thing. And while I appreciated being in the status, it's also a bit of a stigma that goes along with it. And whoever's buying it has to take into consideration that stigma, and that the property is stigmatized in a certain way. And you can't just say, well, I changed the drywall and I moved all this stuff out. You have to show proof that your property, because if you make that claim as a homeowner and something is not right, then you have to show some proof that you've done it, I think. Anyhow, so that was one of the things that I wanted to touch base on. But I did want to get on this week and talk about what's going on in the world of real estate. And I must say, FOMO is real. It's absolutely real. People are crazy. I know. It's like Canada runs on real estate, right? It's like that, America runs on Dunkin', that ad. It's like Canada runs on real estate or something. But quite frankly, it's like a switch went on from a few weeks ago to now. It's like somebody flicked a switch and things are just going nuts. So things that were sitting on the market that no one was even looking at, no one was interested in, are now getting multiple offers. And, the strangest things happen, right? And I'm also seeing it for condo townhouses, smaller properties, of course. So it looks like these people are probably just trying to get ahead of the masses, and because they are anticipating another rate cut, more than likely thinking, hey, I'm going to go out and buy. But I don't think there's a shortage of properties, especially when it comes to condos. There's quite a bit of condos out there. So when I see people paying, well, we can say overpaying. People, the value of your home is the value of what someone wants to pay for it. But when I see people going a little crazy, like someone was giving out candy and you're going to miss out on some, it kind of makes me wonder a little bit, right? Like, where are we in this world? And before the before the next cut can even happen, we are now kind of, people are freaking out and thinking, hey, I should get on this bandwagon before I get left behind. So with regard to the condo market, even though there are lots to pick from, there are some condos that people are jumping on. The next thing I want to talk about is this mysterious thing that seems to happen. Every time, even prior to like maybe a week and a half, even before this craziness started, every time, well, not every time, I shouldn't say that. There are actually some really good agents out there and some really good agents that really take their job seriously and are very credible and do a great job representing their clients. But there are some who, I don't know. They do these tactics and they think they're actually doing their client a service, but really in return, it could backfire on them. So a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not talking the last 2 weeks, I'm talking like a few weeks ago, we put in offers and it's odd, like mysteriously another offer was registered. Like, it was so weird. It was just so strange, right? And then the other tactic is they ask for 24 hours notice because they're trying to pump up the offers so that they can get more offers on a property. And it's like, just tell us what you want. What are you looking for? Why waste our time showing your property if the client can't even afford it? Like, if you're looking for a crazy amount and that's not the value, but that's what you want, it's your house to sell. You can want whatever you want. We just have to decide whether you're going to buy it or not. And so, in my opinion, this blind bidding craziness is something that, look, when the shoes, if you're representing a seller, yes, you like it because you're getting the seller the most. But on the flip side, I think as a professional, you should be able to run the numbers, figure out what the market is. And if people want to pay more, they're still going to pay you more. But your client should be able to say, yes, I'm good with this number and live with it, right? And if people want to pay you more, they'll pay you more. And if there are 10 people lined up to buy that price that your client wants to sell at and they want to pay more, then great for that. But I was noticing the last little while, like automatically there were so many bids and there's so much of like this underhanded nonsense. But all I want to say to people is whether it's a first-time buyer, and more so when it's a first-time buyer, or a repeat buyer hasn't bought for a while, or any of those, people are excited to put in an offer on your home. And I know, as professionals, we do this every day, but we should not get blinded to actually just trample upon people's offers like it doesn't matter, right? Now, first-time home buyer putting in an offer to a property, it took them so much effort, even if they're not a first-time home buyer, even if they're a repeat buyer, it took them so much effort to actually put pen to paper. They've committed. They made that commitment. They decided, oh my goodness, among all the properties out there, I'm going to make an offer on your property, and then we have like crickets. Nobody talks. No one acknowledges. No one even has the decency to say, we're not going to, sorry, but your offer is a bit low. We're not going to give you a counter. And that's okay. You can be polite. Like your client can be upset, but you as a professional can be polite. I mean, that's your job. Right? You need to manage everyone. You need to manage everyone's emotions. If you're just as emotional as your client is, then, I don't know where that deal is going, but it's going nowhere good, right? So having said that, I must say, like, I was doing an offer the other day, and I mean, up until, so the agent was, I put in the offer and I asked them to acknowledge, and they did because I asked them to acknowledge. And then after that, no response. I guess they didn't like the number, and that's okay. But there was silence. So then 2 days later, the agent says, oh, yeah, we didn't respond to you because my client really didn't want to give you a sign back. And I'm like, yeah, I assumed that when you didn't respond. But it's kind of funny. Like, it's so stupid. Like, why wouldn't you just actually say, I'm really sorry, but we're not going to entertain this offer. We're not giving you a sign back. And that's okay to do that. But anyhow, so I'm not sure if you have any particular questions with regard to our crazy real estate market. The market is really changing from week to week, and who knows what happens with the last time we saw this happen, I think it was really before the first cut. We saw a little bit of a frenzy, and then it totally died. And then the second cut, there was nothing at all. And anyway, so there are a couple of new announcements come out. You know, the whole point of in the middle of December, that's when those new things kick in, where your insurable mortgages are going to go to 1.5 mil, and that's like a lot of money. So it's like buying a $1.5 million home with maybe 5 or 6% down, because technically you have to put in 10%. Right now you have to put in 20% for anything above $1 million. So now they're going to change it to 10%. But the majority of that amount that you put in is going to be the insurance that you're going to have to pay. So while it does kind of give you that room to maybe get a bit more, it also extends. So while you can get more money, you still have to qualify for it. You still have to make that money. It does help people who are making that money be able to get approved or get an insurable mortgage if they were looking. But let's not fool yourself. Anything that is like 1.5 million with the minimum down, you're looking at maybe 7 or 8 grand. And I'm just giving you rates of, like, I'm giving you some rates. Like, I'm not a mortgage agent, so I have a mortgage agent on the show watching, so you can get in touch with them if you like. But I'm not a mortgage agent, so I'm not giving you advice on that, but I'm giving you some numbers. So it would be like $7,000 or $8,000 unless you were selling a house, buying another house. And I think people are mistaken as to how much that money accounts to. I have first-time home buyers, and I have repeat buyers, and I also have older clients who are downsizing their home, and sometimes they get like really bad sticker shock because so for the first-time home buyers, they think they could qualify for 6, 7, 8, $1 million, but they don't realize that that's not how it works. If I have a person who's probably immigrated to Canada and has been living here for a while, they really don't know how our system works. So they think they can just like ask for that money and they would get qualified. So a lot of times that takes a little bit of education. You know, the average first-time home buyer making about $100,000 would qualify for around $450-ish. So what do you buy for $450 in the city? And if you have a condo fees, that actually diminishes a bit. So condo fees counts towards your amount. So if you only got like $500,000, but then you wanted to buy a condo, you know, for each $100 is about $20,000, $15,000-ish. I mean, don't quote me. It all depends on numbers that they work out. So they would give you an amount equivalent to after they take out your taxes and mortgage. And so they would say, okay, if you're buying a condo with so much condo fees, this is how much you can spend. So it makes a difference for you to understand the numbers. That's why I'm like big on telling people not to get pre-approved, but at least that you're not disappointed. Then you know what you're looking for, you know how much you qualify for, you know where you can look, and you know what your options are. So every step of the way, just be prepared. Anyhow, seeing that you have no questions for me, I will say goodbye and good night. And if you have any questions, you know where to reach me. DM me. If we don't connect, I can just do another little video for your answer if you like as well. Yeah, so anything at all. If you have questions about your particular area that you live in, I don't really do market reports giving you area numbers. I think they're boring in the sense that the bulk of the market reports, if I just tell you GTA numbers, what does that mean? It means nothing, because every area in the GTA, every little pocket, functions a little differently. The numbers are a little different. And if you're looking for one of those prefab reports that someone just puts together and pulls up numbers, they're just average numbers. They're really not the numbers you're looking for. If you want a true value, like a value of what properties are going for, you really need someone who can give you that, not just from pulling some data that people put together, because it just gives you what they think the areas is going to be valued at, right? So it makes a big difference. But until next week, we'll see you then. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free at any point to DM me, get in touch, go to my website, Watson Homes, Watson at Watson Homes, I think. No, watsonhomes.ca, watsonhomes.ca. And then jacquelinewatson.ca as well is another website. Or jacqueline-watson.ca. That's another website. But for all of you listening, my name is Jacqueline Watson. I'm a realtor with Sutton Group Tower in Toronto. And I look forward to seeing you guys on Mondays whenever I do the show. And so thank you for spending your dinner hour with me, because it means a lot. And until next time, we'll see you then. Bye now. Oh, sorry, we're leaving, but we'll see you next time.